Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing my VCT Pacific Stage 2 playoff pick'ems. I'm going to go through all of the games and pick who I think is going to win and end up going to the grand final. I'll probably spend more time on these opening few games, like basically these two games, the RRQT one, and then maybe these four games as well. And then we'll kind of try to speed through the rest of the bracket. But if you guys enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Really helps me out. Also, go check out my Twitter and my Discord. Links are in the description. I post weekly player rankings on there. At the time of posting this, I'll probably have my Pacific one up and my EMEA one. It's gonna be weird because I was out this weekend, so I have to actually do the player rankings and everything right after recording this video. And I'm recording this on the same day of posting it. But yeah, if you guys enjoy, go check those out. If you're interested in any of that kind of stuff. Also, go check out my Twitch. Link is in the description. I do streams on there occasionally. I'll probably end up doing some VOD review streams of playoffs in there. So if you're interested in any of that, go check that out. I also stream on this YouTube channel. So if you don't want to watch on Twitch, then you don't need to check that out. But before we get into the actual pick'ems, I do want to talk about my rebuild series this offseason. I do this every year where I go through all the teams and I make all the roster changes I would make for every team. And I'm doing a poll on my Twitter, on my Discord, and my community tab on this YouTube channel, going through and asking people to pick which team they would want. So if you want to get me to pick one, I might not end up doing global, even if they do get picked, because I only make videos on teams that I make 2 or more changes to, and global I might not end up doing that, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, if you want to go vote for a team, go check out all 3 of those, and you can vote on all 3 spots. And whoever gets the most votes, I'll end up doing. Hopefully, it's not global because I probably won't end up making a video on them. But if global does get the most votes, then whoever gets the second most votes, pretty much. But without further ado, let's get into the pick'ems. All right, so we'll get into the pick'ems now. I just went through and did all the map bans and stuff for all these games. I'm not going to go super deep into it in the deeper games in the bracket, but these first games I do want to kind of go through what I was thinking for these games. So we'll start with Talon versus Nongshim. I think this game is fairly close. You got 2 teams that I think are very solid. Nothing amazing, even though Nongshim last week looked incredible versus Gen.G. I think that was more of them looking insane than Gen.G kind of falling off a lot. I also think if they did play that again, I think Texture would play a lot better, and Nongshim would probably just get edged out by Gen.G overall. But I think they look like a really good team. Talon looks really good as well, kind of playing a really close game against Paperex on both maps. I think this series will go 3 maps. You'll have Talon banning Ascent as they do every time. I would imagine Nongshim would ban Icebox against Talon. They've been banning pretty much each team's best map against them, or what they feel they have the worst matchup on, which definitely is Icebox in this case. I think Nongshim takes them to bind. I think they barely edge Talon out there, even though that is a very close. Actually, I mean, when I said this is gonna go to 3, honestly, I don't think it. I mean, there's a good chance it just ends in 2 with because Bind is a very close map for both teams. I think both are very good there. I think Lotus is a good map for both teams as well, which I think Talon would end up picking here. So I have each team winning their own map pick, and then it goes to Haven map 3, which Talon hasn't played and Nongshim hasn't been amazing at, but they haven't been terrible at it. So I am going to pick Nongshim in this game, just because I believe in them a little bit more in this setting as well. And I think the map pool kind of slightly favors them, just because I think they're ever so slightly better at Lotus and ever so slightly better at Bind. So I think if this does go into 2-0, then it would probably go to Nongshim. Then RRQT1. I think this is pretty simple. Wait, let me make sure they're next to each other so I can read out exactly what I think is going to happen. So each team is going to ban the map that they ban all the time. T1 occasionally bans other maps than Icebox, but against teams that play quite a bit of Icebox and are good at Icebox, they always ban it. So they're going to ban that. RRQ is going to ban Lotus as they do. And then you're probably going to get something like Haven, Ascent, Sunset as the map pool, or Ascent, Haven, Sunset. I don't know what order I said that in. But I think T1 would win Ascent, but I think the other two maps are pretty RRQ favored, and I would take them in the series. Then we have Talon, DFM. Rematch from a bit earlier in this split. I think DFM edges this game out ever so slightly. Um, I don't know how hot of a take that is, but I think DFM probably wins on like an ice box or something, and then finds a win on one of the other maps maybe. I do think the series goes 3 though, definitely, just because DFM's overall map pool is pretty weak. I could also see them kind of choking once they get into a playoff setting, and Talon kind of beating them just because of the experience diff. I think that's really very realistic. But I believe in DFM, so I'm going to pick them in this game. Then T1 Gen.G, I think the map pool overall really favors Gen.G in this game, and they are the better team. The thing is, I'm not panicking about Gen.G in the sense that, like, oh, I think their last game was so unbelievably bad from them, and I think they're a much worse team because of that. Obviously, that's not what I think, but I also think that game was very important, and the fact that they're starting in the lower bracket really hurts their chances of making champs. Now, the fact that they're beating T1 in this spot, I think, pretty much solidifies the fact that they're making it, barring a Nongshim or DFM run. And you would imagine at least one of these teams in DRX, PaperX, RRQ makes the final. So I think Gen.G should be fine to make champs as long as they beat T1 in this game. Then DRX Nongshim. I think the map pool slightly favors DRX in this game. I don't think it's like super DRX favored, but I think overall a lot of the maps are a little close, and I would favor DRX in the setting most of the time. I also just think they're the better team overall, even outside of the map pool. Then PaperX RRQ. I was originally going to pick PaperX in this game, but I looked at the map pool a little bit more heavily, and I think it is actually very RRQ favored. Both teams are good at are decent at Icebox, at least. I think PaperX this past week against Talon wasn't that great at it. But like if you look across the map pool, like Haven is very RRQ favored. I think PaperX could bring out a Corrode that looks good and like kind of really shake up the map pool in this game. Which honestly, I expect them to bring out a Corrode. I just don't really know how good it'll be. But like, yeah, you'll probably get Icebox, Haven, and Sunset in there, which you could argue are some of PaperX better maps. Um, but I think RRQ has played better on those maps this split. But if PaperX bring out a Corrode or something, I think that really shakes up this matchup. It just has to be good, and I'm not really favoring it to be good. Then PaperX DFM. I think PaperX is just the overall more talented team, and I think they win that game. Experience diff, all that kind of stuff. Unless DFM just does the kickoff thing again, but I don't really expect that to happen. Gen.G Nongshim. I have Gen.G in this game, ever so slightly favored in the map pool towards Gen.G. I also just think they're the better team, and I think they'll win this rematch game. The rematch is also a big factor here. I think Gen.G in a rematch would beat Nongshim overall. Then PaperX Gen.G. I'm going to take PaperX. Their Corrode would be better in this matchup if they do decide to bring it out. And I just think PaperX is just going to go on the run to win here. Then who did I have in the upper final? I had DRX, just map pool pick pretty much. I wasn't really sure who to pick, so I just picked the team I thought had the better map pool advantage, and that was DRX. And then I'm just going to pick PaperX to finish out the bracket here and win the final just because I think they're the best team. Now, I do think there's a good chance that PaperX don't even end up making the grand final, but I do think that they will make champs pretty easily. So with that, that'll be my Pickems. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.